Hello everyone, I'm Xiao Gang. In this lesson, we'll start writing the methods for our buttons. First, let's add these two buttons, right? We'll still use the same method. Of course, constructing it directly like this here is also fine. To make it look better, we'll just drag it out. Then we do it like this. And here, you can see, right here, we have a remove button, right? Okay. Now let's launch it and see the effect. Okay, here you can see there's no problem at all here. It's the same as the UI we designed. Now we mainly need to add functionality. Actually, the skin is already done. Now we need to write the bones, write the underlying layer, and for the underlying layer, we'll just write it directly on the UI. Because first, it's easier for everyone to read and understand. Let's do the first UI first. That is the UI for opening a specified folder. So first, we need to create a binding function. There are many ways to bind this function. For the binding here, we need to create a lambda. The function signature of this lambda, it is more appropriate to place it below, because placing it at the very bottom, because it needs to use these variables to refresh the data. Then, and its name we call get all files from the target dictionary, and then perform a simple refresh. Then what it needs to capture is this file directory and these files. Then obviously we are opening the path of which folder, and then we put these files, where are they all spawned? So we need to take these two direct pointers, get our two UMG, then our slate. Then we process it, because it is bound to this. What is this called? Bound to this button. The function signature of the button, it has no parameters, and then returns a reply, which is a handle. Why specifically use this reply? Just go check the engine source code, and you will know, because if you randomly place a button, you will find it is always used this way. You can see, this is our button here anyway. Then how do we browse this related thing? We can take a look. Here, just search directly. Let's just search for S6 button. You'll know when you see it. You can see there is an S6 button here. Look at onCollect. You can directly look at its function signature. Right, no parameters. Then returns reply. Handle. Okay. Then we'll write it the same way. Then we just didn't write it into the function. We used it that big. It just looks good. It's just to keep it clean and refreshing. First, let's prepare two strings. This is the file type. Then these, along with the file type's extension and such. And here, since this is derived from the underlying engine, I'll just copy the comments over as well. Then here we prepare a TRIF. This is the file we found. This KT, and first of all, we need to get the platform manager. And here we need to include the header file. I'll just paste it over directly. This way, we include it like this. Then this place is obviously. I feel that if it can't be included, maybe there are some modules. Let's check the modules. The modules should all be there. We can do it this way. Remove this. Okay. Then this way we should be able to find it. This is the platform. This kind of platform thing. Let's check where this is located. Maybe the engine has changed. It moved to a different location. Inside device warp. Inside desktop platform public. Okay, it's obvious that there are some things we need to adjust here, because we definitely can't compile it right now. Okay, the reason we can't compile is that it doesn't have a way to include this image file. But actually here, did we miss something? Let's check. After we add this discord.or here, it should compile successfully. Then we can check. The main issue is here. This should be written here. Here it should actually be able to find this file, as long as we can get it to compile. Here, that's fine. The red underline here is because we changed the module. We'd better refresh the project. Let's rebuild the project. Yes. Let's wait a moment. After the rebuild. Okay, let's reload. Now it works normally because you added a new module. So you need to use UBT to rebuild the entire standalone program. Then we get this platform. You can see this platform is very important. After getting this platform, we need to call the method inside it. Let's go back. First, we need to give it a path. As for this path, we need to check it. Is this path valid? Only then can we open this path. We are using this here. Use this path. But actually, for this path of ours, we haven't written the underlying code yet. Okay, let's put it here. Then how do we open it? This is a blocking method. We do it through this platform, assuming our path here is correct. Okay, there is a print handle here. As for this print handle, it seems we skipped something here. Jumped once. Should start over. Should be here. First, let's assume we can be at this place. Delete this one. Suppose we open this folder. Failed. It is a failure. We must assign this value to it. Then because we need to make judgments later. Then here we give a thread index. This index hasn't been used yet. Just ignore it. Then here, we first need to get this platform. This object, after obtaining this platform object, we give it a floater. And then this is the name of the floater. Then we go find our current Windows giant widget. After getting this giant widget, we find what we want to go up. We get the path we opened last time. Get the path we opened last time after preparing these parameters. We call it through this interface in a hosted manner. To open this dialog, so there is a giant widget here. And then the name of this dialog. Then you type a path. And then this folder line. Finally, we can actually look at this Windows. We mainly look at Windows here. You will find that this place is a reference. It is the output path, and this is the wooden mirror you opened, and this is its name, right? We can take a look at this interface. As for this interface, we need to look at the upper layer. Look at the upper layer. This interface is an overlaying. The upper layer definitely has it. It doesn't have it here. That's it. Mainly you can see the engine's underlying layer. In fact, there are also many places that have called this thing, so we can refer to similar code like this. At this point, a dialog box will pop up. If we haven't opened this dialog box, it means we cancelled or performed other operations. Then we return it here. If it is successfully opened, we need to start executing the subsequent operations. We need to write a log. Write a log. For example, if we write this log, it's mainly that we also include the configuration log. We haven't written the log yet. This log here, this log is here. It's better to add a prefix in front. Add a .h at the end. Okay. Let's take a look at this part. It should be able to include it. Let's check. It's because of this part. We need to go up one level. That should do it. This side still hasn't included it. Let's check the reason. What if we don't go up? Let's take a look here. It's clearly pasted wrong here. Pasted wrong because these two items look a bit similar. No mistake here. Okay, let's print this folders. Lambda here. This name, I the beta of Kaiti here. Let's take a look here. We better do it here. Move this over here. Okay. This should work now. Let's compile it first. It shows a prompt here. Compilation fails because this file cannot be found. Let's go up one level. Okay, this should work now. This name is a bit too... I think write this name. Let's change the name for it. Change it. We'll just do it here. Let's just change it directly. This Slate program. Let's change this one. And now there might be some places that won't compile. Just let it report errors. Then we'll uniformly change it to this name because this doesn't match the file name. That's why sometimes in logs the front and back don't match up. Okay, let's compile again. Good. Now we're finally back to normal. Good. At this point, if we have successfully obtained this floater, we continue moving forward. Then after obtaining this floater, we update it to our slick. This slick is at the position we captured earlier. Captured it here. This float is it. We provided the position code earlier. It is captured here. Then we won't write this code here. We hard code it, right? Because we haven't done more of this kind of thing yet. We give it a C drive. We let it open the C drive by default because all 4 disks should have it. And actually here we are, since it has already succeeded, so we need to save it. Save the path we opened to make it convenient for us to call it next time. So here we are going to store the modified lamp path now that we have the path. We need to do the subsequent work. In this folder path, we need to do a simple traversal, then traverse this folder to record our names. If we still need to be outside first, if we haven't opened this place, if we haven't obtained this, let's just have it return this directly with if else. Let's format it. Okay, like this, it seems our Slate has also changed after formatting. But the change shouldn't be significant. At this point, be especially careful, Gastray, because this Slate is really prone to issues. Okay, this side doesn't have this. Let's format it again. Okay, note that let's move this part down here. Then this will be correct. Okay, now let's start traversing the folder to record this name. So first of all, the first step, we get our folder path. That is the path we mentioned earlier. Just look at file name. And similarly, we prepare a file group. This place will record all the file names we have found. And here we can use wildcards. We can recurse, but we won't recurse. Here we get our file manager. And then here we use this function. As you can see, this function, this is where the found files are. This path, and here are some suffixes, the symbols for these suffixes. For now, we'll pass a new one for all of them. Right. You can see. Here you can pass some suffix symbols. In these 2 ways, we put everything in. After putting them in, first, we need to take our original flash, our scroll bar, inside the scroll bar of this flash. Clear all of this content. After clearing it, we iterate through the results we found. Then after we iterate through this result, we will create a new text box. Then we take this text box and directly add it to our Slate. And that's it. This is done using the attach widget method, which is essentially like add child. In Blueprint, this is the operation. So our first step is done. It's quite complex. Honestly, it's really quite complex. Okay, and there are actually some other things here. Some similar interfaces. For those who are interested, let me take a look. Because this interface is all extracted from our source code. We have started it now. Right, we are here. We open the specified folder. This part is not working. Good. Why isn't it working? Because you only wrote this here. You haven't created a connection for it yet. So we want to do a simple binding here. A simple binding like this. Right. So we just create this lambda here. Right. We are binding this event to this world. We create a lambda binding situation. Then just pass it in using this lambda. Okay. There is an error here. Let's check the error. Let's see the reason for this error, right? It says that it must return a value here. So after we make a judgment here, we should still make it return such a value in the end. So we return this here. Actually, this is no longer needed here. No matter what, we will make it return this way. Let's execute it again. Okay, let's execute now. Okay, let's open the specified folder. It's definitely not found here, right? Let's just open one. Open this one of ours. Open a deployment environment. We select the folder, and you can see we found this path. Next, let's improve this path thing we wrote. Okay, let's see if there's still time. We'll continue improving this path in the next lesson, because we want every time we open it to remember the path we opened last time. Okay, look at this play. It actually recorded it. That's a bit surprising. We can see, we can take a look at this. This might be Windows recording it for us, but we actually need to record it ourselves, because after we close the application, you'll see it's gone here, because we haven't written that part yet, right? See you in the next lesson.